G'day guys, Carl from Go Travel in the garage with the big girl. Audio upgrades again, but this is stage 2.2. So I decided I didn't really like the active sub, so I changed it to something a little bit better. We got a little bit of hard hitting bass now. We are well down the rabbit hole. Now, I said I wanted hard-hitting bass. The active sub just didn't give me that. This new little 6.5 inch, yes, you heard right, it is absolutely tiny. DD Audio, subwoofer, twin coil, it is unreal. Running on a Clarion 400 watt amp, wired at 4 ohm, 200 RMS. You can hear it's chalk and cheese. And this has still been running. I haven't tuned the sub or anything, so I'll show you the install. All the active sub pulled out, the floor's pulled out. One thing I didn't show is the foam. So I put all that foam around where the floor contacts. Wiring's all underneath. The new gear. This is a DD Audio 6.5 inch subwoofer. The noises that come out of this thing are absolutely phenomenal. Now everything's wired in, we've just got to tidy it up. I didn't bother filming the wiring of it, but we've got a high-low converter that we've installed now. So this gives us RCA input to the amp. I think it's a cleaner sound. That's just wired into the speaker inputs that we had for the active sub, wherever they are, there and there. So we'll heat shrink all that. These amps is unreal. That is a 400 watt amp. 200 RMS at 2 ohm, which is how this is wired with the way the bridging is on it. RCA input, speaker level input if you want it. Like I say, we decided to go with a line input converter this time. High-low converter, so that's got to earth out, and then earth for the amp, same point. Like I say, we'll heat shrink all these up, tidy them up, clean them up, get it all flush mounted, and I'll show you the sounds that this thing makes. So not wanting a sub box, look, this thing's tiny, I can live with it. For the noise it makes, definitely can live with it. Amp's bolted into place, you see it takes up absolutely no room. Wiring's all cleaned up. A tiny shorter RCA cord, seeming their line converters right there. Alright, now we're going to do, put the floor back in, work out how to bolt the box to the floor. That's the box bolted in to the floor. Can still get the seat up. You see I just used a couple of painted L brackets. Because of the way I bolted the brackets underneath, the sub sits up just a touch, which means I can still access the floor. Amps in there, nice tidy install, gives me majority of my hatchback. I decided to have the port facing into the car, can't really see it, but the bottom of the box is ported, so all the air pressure punches into the car, which should relay the bass pretty well. See the cage over the sub, still get to your socket. So that hard-hitting bass comes out of this tiny little 6.5 inch subwoofer. I did say when I started this project I didn't want to put a sub box in the back. I wanted hard-hitting bass. The active sub just wasn't doing that for me, so we thought, stuff it, I'll give it a go. And I couldn't be happier. That is the sound I wanted. So you can see the little DD drive sub has a cage over the top. I do like that because I can still throw shit in here, and if it does land on top of it, it won't wreck the sub, obviously. That sound, that bass is so deep, so hard hitting. It is absolutely blows my mind that something the size of a door speaker can deliver bass like that. It is insane. The other thing to point out, as always, I am just filming this on a GoPro, no external mic. So obviously sound quality will be only as good as what you're listening to it on. But trust me, this makes the active sub look like crap. This thing is unreal. The active sub definitely complemented the speakers a little bit. This thing, it's just a whole nother level. This hits as hard as what I remember the couple of 10s in a box. Like, this thing is unreal. Like I say, I'm definitely a little bit old now to touch when it comes to audio these days. I never would have thought you'd get that sound out of a little sub. I think overall, for the loss of space and the sound quality you get out of it, I think it's worth it. I absolutely love it. It completely changes the audio in this. Definitely complements the speaker upgrade. That deep, hard-hitting, punchy bass, that's what I wanted. And this, it delivers it. It is unreal. And a subwoofer that is 6.5 inch, it is madness. It is as big as a door speaker. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. I will insert a picture of this in so you can see how big it is. So obviously the quality of it's unreal, but it's got a massive rubber on it. The driver in it is huge. So this sub in the box, it probably actually comes down to about here somewhere. Like, it's a very well built, powerful sub for what it is. I think it's a good bit of gear. So when I was researching audio, after I bought the active sub, looking at the stuff in the States and what they do over there is absolutely madness. I found a company called Gately, and they make sub boxes for like F-trucks and things like that. And they put 6 of these 6.5 inch subs under the floor in a dual cab F-truck. When I seen that and seen the absolute thumping bass that was punching out of these things, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So I was like, you know what, I've got to buy one of these, I've got to try it. And I tell you what, I am not disappointed. It is unreal. So this time the sub and the amp come from Frankie's Auto Electrical. I think off the top of my head with the line converter, I think I was about 550 bucks, something like that. Look, in all honesty, for $100 more than what the active sub is, this does so much more. It's so much better sound. I love it. I think it's great. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Am I going back to a P-plate of Bogan? I feel like I am. But you know what? It makes me smile. As always, if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. And until next time, go travel.